Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Kubrat Pulev has said that he feels light and he feels dangerous at his new weight going into this fight with Anthony Joshua. He said he's a little bit lighter than he normally is. So that does kind of tell us that maybe he is looking to box and go late with Anthony Joshua, because if he was thinking about having a shootout, then he would be probably a little bit heavier, obviously sitting on the chest of Anthony Joshua, getting in close, grappling, holding and making it rough. This doesn't necessarily tell us that he's going to be doing that. He's going to be looking to box. Now, Kubrat Pulev is a very good boxer. He's got a good, effective jab. So he can turn this into a boxing match with Anthony Joshua, but it's just whether Anthony Joshua wants to play that chess match with him. Anthony Joshua will be looking to hurt Kubrat Pulev consistently in this fight. That is what AJ does. He can box, yes, we've seen that in the Joe Parker fight and the second Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, but if he wants to, he can turn it on. And I think that when he's in there with an opponent that he knows he can hurt, he will go looking for those power punches. But ultimately, at the start, I think Anthony Joshua will be effective behind his boxing. So he won't want to engage with Kubrat Pulev. I think that he will ease him into it. I think that he will find out what Kubrat Pulev does well, what he doesn't do well, and he will look to take things away that Pulev does do well and exploit the weaknesses that Pulev has. So I don't think we can expect a first round knockout, maybe a second round knockout. Of course, it is the heavyweight division and one punch can be all it takes, but I just don't think that Anthony Joshua will be looking for that in the early stages of the fight, because he is in there with a quality operator like Pulev, a game opponent who's coming to win. So I think that Anthony Joshua will find his range, find his distance, and look to take Pulev to the mid to maybe late rounds. I don't think it will go that long, but I just believe that Anthony Joshua will look to break him down bit by bit, because Anthony Joshua doesn't necessarily need to go in there looking for the knockout. He will need to put Pulev under a certain amount of pressure, because Pulev will try and do that to Anthony Joshua anyway. So who wants to be on the front foot, who wants to be on the back foot? Does Anthony Joshua want to be on the back foot against Pulev? Not necessarily. I think that what he'd be better off doing is backing him up behind a hard, stiff jab, and when he can, counter Kubrat Pulev, because I think that Anthony Joshua is a very good counter puncher, and Pulev has shown he doesn't adjust well in fights. So if Anthony Joshua is the faster, which he is, more powerful, he is, when Kubrat Pulev commits, that is when AJ can start landing some combinations. So he needs to think that if Pulev starts coming over his front foot, he can counter him. That will cause more devastating effect, because obviously Kubrat Pulev is then coming on to the shot. So what AJ can try and do is position himself, use his footwork in order to make Kubrat Pulev commit, make him miss, then make him pay. I think that that is what AJ will do in this fight. I don't think he will be the one pressing Kubrat Pulev, but I think that he will be on the front foot, landing hard, stiff jabs, but I think that he will force Kubrat Pulev to work when he doesn't want to, make him feel his presence there. So he will be right there positioned to land punches at all times, but I don't believe he will be forcing the action, looking to land big combinations, big hooks, all of a sudden in the first stages of the fight. He will wait for that. So I think we can expect a very calculated performance from Anthony Joshua, but then again, we can also expect a very calculated performance from Kubrat Pulev. It's just what happens when Anthony Joshua lands the big shot. But then again, what happens when Pulev lands a big shot? These are question marks that will have to be answered in this fight. I think it was very interesting what Kubrat Pulev had to say about his weight and how he was approaching this fight. This is what he had to say. "I feel a little lighter and at my best like this. A boxer must have power and speed, and right now I feel very dangerous." So there we go, that is what Kubrat Pulev has had to say in his own words about his approach and his weight for this fight. So he's saying he has speed and he has power. Those are things you need in boxing. Well, you do kind of specifically in the heavyweight division, especially against someone like Anthony Joshua. So he's got speed, he's got power, or he believes he has, and those are things he's going to need. Does that speak to his game plan and how he is going to approach this fight? Perhaps, because I think that maybe he's looking to land sharp shots on Anthony Joshua, then get out of range. So maybe he is looking for a 12-round unanimous decision, or take Anthony Joshua late, where he believes Anthony Joshua will not be able to stick with him, because what Pulev does is he fights in stints. That is why he rarely gets tired, because Kubrat Pulev fights in stints. So in this fight, it seems what he is planning to do is land sharp shots when he can, create those openings in Anthony Joshua, land powerful shots as well to keep Anthony Joshua at bay. So something similar, I guess, to what Anthony Joshua done to Ruiz. That is interesting because he has been talking about what Ruiz done to Anthony Joshua. So has Bob Arum. So is he looking to do something similar to what Anthony Joshua done in the second Ruiz fight? So land jabs, which he can do because he's got a very good jab, and fast shots also, but get out of range to make sure that he's landing shots and stinging Anthony Joshua hard and often to discourage him from coming in. Maybe that seems to be the game plan of Kubrat Pulev. Because interestingly enough, Kubrat Pulev also said that he is going to show Anthony Joshua that he is the better boxer. So perhaps that is what he is looking to do. Use the basics, use the fundamentals in order to outmaneuver and almost old man Anthony Joshua out of there. But the question is, can he do that for 12 rounds against AJ? Maybe that's not necessarily what he's looking to do. Maybe he's looking to go for a late stoppage. But it does seem like he's going back to boxing and back to basics in order to beat Anthony Joshua, because he did say there are weaknesses, there are mistakes in Anthony Joshua in his boxing game. So those are things he's going to look to exploit. And if that is Kubrat Pulev's game plan, then he will also be looking to work to the body of Anthony Joshua to slow him down, to break him down bit by bit. Again, this is not going to be easy for Kubrat Pulev. He's not going to be able to do anything he wants at his own free will. AJ is going to be throwing punches back. Let's remember, he is the unified champion, and he's been in tougher fights and better fights, and came out on top than Kubrat Pulev. So Anthony Joshua is well seasoned and ready for this kind of fight. It's just the game plan of Kubrat Pulev is going to be a very interesting one. He thinks that he is going to break Anthony Joshua down, maybe get a late stoppage, or maybe win on points. That seems to be the tone that we can take from his interviews and what he is saying about this fight. I think he will go down to the body and look to work there to break Anthony Joshua down, to tire him out going into the mid to late rounds. So what Anthony Joshua will try and do also is work to the body of Pulev. I think he will try and do the same because Anthony Joshua does have good body punches. I think he will look to break Pulev down also. So we could have a real standoff here in the centre of the ring, which leads me to believe it could be a cagey opening with both fighters trading off jabs, seeing what the other fighter has, and refusing to surrender their positioning just so they can land a certain punch here and there. So I think that it will be an opening where both fighters try to figure the other one out. So round 1, round 2 could be quite interesting. But I just think that when this fight catches fire, it will be a cracker. There is no going back from that point because this is the heavyweight division. These are two big fighters who can punch. So once it gets to that point, there is no going back. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.